Jailin, you had the pick last week. You know, I know you wanted a touchdown on that one. This week, what was going through your head returning it? You had that kind of broke that tackle there on the way to the end zone. So was last week in your head? This week, returning the interception for the touchdown.
Yeah, when you get an interception, not too many players, the wide receivers is upfield, so it's a great chance that you can get in a touchdown. And I feel like with the guys, they help with the blocking. I appreciate the guys for that.
The staff, expressed a lot of confidence in you going back to the spring as a guy to, replace Diamante at that will spot. How much has that kind of paid off for you now that the season started, just the confidence and belief they've had in you, and how do you feel you kind of lived up to that potential they saw in you now through these 4 games?
Tucker Darcy, he was a great player. So the coaches always had confidence in me, and the players at that. Like Isaac, he's the captain of our defense. He held my mindset up with him just like being there for me, and I feel like I was always ready for the job.
You and Taurus kind of stepped into the starting role this year together, and then both have interceptions today. What has it been like, going through that with him, and what have you kind of learned from him the most through these first 4 weeks?
TJ, he's like a bigger brother than me, so we play fast, we play together. He helped me out sometimes, and we'll be a great duo for the next 3 years.
What are some of those things that he helps you out with that you talk about that he helps you out with?
When I make mistakes, he always held me high, and in practice, when I mess up on the coverage, he'll make me fix it.
What is it like kind of playing in conditions like this where the offense is, the ball is slippery, it could be a turnover on any play? I guess, does that maybe make you play with more edge almost?
We knew coming in this game it's going to be a lot of rain, so it'll be a lot of tip balls. So coach always hit on us on reading QB vision. So when I broke on the ball, I got the interception off a tip pass.
Kind of talk me through, the fourth quarter a little bit, getting good field position for the offense and the offense being able to convert on such short touchdowns. I know it was, aside from your pick 6, it was pretty much less than 5 yards for every single touchdown during this game. What were you guys seeing to be able to put yourselves in such a strong field position for the offense today?
We knew in the fourth quarter that the game wasn't over, so we always got to play down by down. So we knew we had to make plays for the offense. So we brought out blitzes, and we managed to keep them under like a lot of yards, and it opened up the play calls for the offense so they can score too.
I know we talked about it a little bit last week, but does a 4-0 start to FBS play surprise you or surprise the defense as a whole? Being able to be one of the top defenses in the FBS for the first 3 weeks, and now being undefeated still after week 4.
JMU always had the winning mindset, so we always knew that any team that was put in front of us, we always got to ball out, fly, and play our game. So us being 4-0, it is a great start. I'm very proud of the guys. But it's just always the mindset. It's the courage that we got to win.
Q had the big hit late last week, and then Sam had one today. So which one of those safeties is the hardest hitter?
Safeties, I can't really pick. I ain't going to be biased. I feel like all the safeties can hit. So I'm very proud of Sam of the hit he had today and Q that he had the other game. I feel like our safeties fly, and I'm very proud of them too.
For you, do you have any maybe individual goals for kind of building on, again, this sort of first year as a starter, what you want to continue to accomplish, sort of the backstretch of the schedule?
Goal-wise, I just want to feel comfortable in the defense and get the captain mindset and just, win and fly around with the guys.
What does it kind of say about this team that the offense might not play the most perfect game in the world, but you guys can still hold it down and beat a Sunbelt team by 27 points? What does that say just kind of about the overall level of this team right now?
I feel like our offense is always great, but it could be ups and downs. So the defense, we always know that we like to put the game in our hands. And if their offense don't score, then they don't win. So that's our mindset. And we held them to 13 points, and that's a great job by the defense.
This year being the first year, you and Jailin kind of starting next to each other, what has it been like going through it with him, and what have you kind of seen him growing the most through these first 4 games?
It's been. Can you repeat that? My bad.
Yeah, what's this first 4 games starting together been like for you, and where have you kind of seen him grow the most as a player?
Well, it's been good because we won. I'll say that's been a good part of it. But it's really just been a learning experience each game, and then. With him, he's, as we can all see, the first few games, he didn't have turnovers, but these past 2, he had a big one last week, and this one he ended up taking it to the crib. He's just really flying around, and I love to see it.
Yeah, what went through your mind when he had his interception and was able to return it back for a touchdown?
If y'all watch the replay, I tried to push the guy off of him, and I was trying to tell him to come with me, but he ended up making another move on the guy and ended up getting in there himself. So I was just like, let's go. Like that's great.
I mean, you had your kind of fumble recovery interception in the backfield against Middle Tennessee. You see Jailin last 2 games get an interception. Is there any like friendly competition, jealousy between you two to try to like one up each other with turnovers and takeaways and splash plays like that? I
wouldn't say it's jealousy, but it is a friendly competition because that just rises both our play and being able to get the ball. If both of us are having that mindset, that helps our defense and our offense out, being able to have short fields for them to be able to score quickly. But yeah, it's not jealousy, but it is a competition for sure.
And what does it kind of say about this defense that now you're in Sunbelt play and you're holding a Texas State offense to 13 points, even after your own offense is maybe 3 turnovers in a pretty sloppy game? Like, what does it kind of say about your defense that you're able to kind of almost continue the dominance that you guys have been able to sustain through CAA play even?
As Coach Signetti said from the beginning of the season, the standard is the standard. As a defense, we don't try to let anybody score, but allowing not many points is the goal every game that we step on the field, no matter who the opponent is.
Does a 4-0 start surprise you at all to
No.
FBS play?
No, not at all. Not at all.
And then what is it like for you, on the sideline to see Latrele score 3 touchdowns today, even though he fumbled last week, fumbled today, but was able to put that behind him and still find the end zone?
At halftime, I told him that just keep going. It's gonna get there, but it's football. Plays gonna happen. We just tell him that. I mean, even if he fumbles, we're gonna go back out there. We're gonna get the ball back to him, and then he's gonna be able to score again. That's it.
What does Mateo bring to the defense? He's been on the field maybe more than the first 2 games, the last 2 weeks, and with you and Jailin on the field, almost 3 linebackers. What have you kind of seen from Mateo?
Right. Me and Jailin, we're getting a lot of coverage right now, but Mateo, he's really the unsung hero, I say, because in the film room and being on the sideline, he just tell us things to look out for. And even when he does come on to the field when we're in our 3 linebacker package, he steps right in and there's no let down. And yeah, he's a great teammate, really.
What have you kind of learned from Mateo?
Really just going about the process the right way and really just being a college player because he's a year older than me. So he's had a lot of football played and he's made a lot of plays even though he hasn't started as much, but he's definitely made a lot of plays.
Latrele, take me through kind of what goes through your mind, when you fumble but you're able to kind of put that behind you really quick and, go out there and score.
Well, after that play, my teammates came up to me and was like, Latrele, just forget about it. Stuff happens. The coaches still believe in you. Even coaches came up to me and was like, we still trust you. Just go out there and play your game and forget about it.
How much confidence does that add to you when coaches and players come up to you after that happens and you get the ball back and you're able to punch it in?
A lot, actually. That's what they just asked me in the last interview. But, just having people there to support you at any time, good or bad, is very, confident.
Signetti was talking about the fact that you were kind of put to the forefront a lot last season, and you were put to the forefront a lot again during today's game. 3 touchdowns was pretty impressive. I mean, do you see something different when you are in a little bit more of a stand-up role in this type of sense compared to when you have some more teammates to kind of rely on to help carry the load with you?
Not really. I mean, we have a room full of backs, and none of us are selfish. So whoever has a hot hand has a hot hand, really.
What does impress you the most about the defense's ability not only just to create turnovers, but to get stops, in big moments? Like, after one fumble today, Jailin had the interception return for a touchdown. After another fumble today, I got to force a 3 and out. So even, some situations maybe you have a mistake on offense, the defense has been stepping up. So what does impress you the most about that, and particularly seeing that today?
I mean, we have a very good defense, a very stout defense. So even when the offense does make some mistakes, you know, we can count on them to get us the ball back, really.
Talk about Solomon a little bit. Getting back in the action, had a big catch in the first half, the 46-yarder. What have you kind of seen from him in practice, kind of getting back to his usual self and then, you know, coming out today?
You know, I'm proud of him. I went down with an injury in camp, and so he sat out a couple of weeks. So I'm very proud of how he showed out today.
Do you feel like you're kind of a running back who, when conditions get sloppy and it's wet and you need someone who can get you 3 to 4 yards and run over defenders and eat up clock, do you feel like you kind of thrive in these type of games where it's, you know, it's cold and it's wet kind of?
They're my favorite games.
Coach Ignetti talks about he's liked, you know, seeing you grow for the past couple of years. Where do you think you've grown the most, you know, as a player on the field?
I would say, you know, just slowing down the game, really, like having stuff come to me instead of being so anxious to make the big plays. Just slowing down the game and receiving, yeah.
In the fourth quarter, you got hit out of bounds a little late, but you just kept laughing the whole time. Is that contact something you embrace?
Definitely. That's what I do. No, I just love contact, always loved contact since I was a kid, so I just find it funny.
You talk about rainy games being your favorite. What about it is kind of your favorite part of playing in a rainy game?
No one wants to tackle a big running back when it's raining and cold, so and a lot of people just slip off you once you like bring contact, so it's way easier to break tackles.
It seemed like you guys were getting on the ball pretty quickly in the first half, especially. Was the tempo faster today? And if so, was that something that was kind of planned for this game, or is it something you're going to build on?
Yeah, we have a fast ball period, and during film, we seen that men didn't adjust too well, and so we used that to our advantage.
What does it kind of say about this team that, you know, you're 4-0, down 2 Sunbelt teams, and really haven't really played a perfect game in the last 2 games, but you're still 4-0? What does that kind of say about just the quality of this team top to bottom?
Well, a lot of people doubted us this year, and we're just now waking everybody up.
How much of those doubters, you know, goes through your head in kind of a game like this and able to keep the unblemished record and stay 4-0?
Wait, can you repeat that again?
Yeah, how much does that like motivate you? You know,
Oh.
the people that at the beginning of the year didn't think JMU would be able to do a whole lot, now being 4-0, one of the last few teams that are undefeated still.
Yeah, it doesn't just motivate me, it motivates the entire team. It just brings extra fuel to the fire, you know, and we just keep proving people wrong.
What have you seen from a guy like Mateo Jackson? We just had Taurus and Jailin here. And they said he brings a lot of leadership to the defense. What does he kind of do for, you know, the overall locker room?
Definitely, Mateo was a vet now and an older kid, so you know a lot of guys do look up to him, listen to him, and all of that.
Coach Ignetti talked earlier saying that Percy was kind of like an emergency back, not really getting a whole ton of carries. How much was last season, you know, with you getting a bunch of carries, you know, playing to a game like today where you know you're going to touch the ball a lot?
Oh, you got to repeat it again.
Yeah, how much is like, you know, touching the ball a lot last year and, you know, getting a ton of carries, going to a game like this where you know you're going to touch the ball a ton? How much does that help your confidence going in?
Oh, that is also a confidence booster. But like I said, no, nobody in the running back room is selfish, so whoever has a hot hand has a hot hand.
All right. Thanks.
No problem.